Good afternoon, my darlings. This is Grandma. I hope you've been keeping up with the book called Until Today by Iyanla Vanzant. Today, God has put it on my mind to read March 12th. Remember, I told you I'm not going to read it every day. It's up to you to read it. I read it myself every day. Okay, here's March the 12th from the book Until Today by Mrs. Vanzant. I open my heart and mind to be aware that I can be led into believing things that are not true. There is a force that uses our fears and insecurities to keep us off track. It is called the deceptive intelligence, and it is a tricky little booger. The deceptive intelligence will lead you to believe that all of your prayers have fallen on deaf ears, that all of your faith will prove to be fruitless. At the slightest sign of weakness on your part, the deceptive intelligence will send you off the deep end to chase shadows in the dark and abandon your dreams. The deceptive intelligence will use your mouth to say things that you cannot take back. It will use your body to do things that cannot be undone. The deceptive intelligence will keep you up at night. The deceptive intelligence will make you see things that are not there and hear things that are not there. You must be aware of the deceptive intelligence. Most important, you must recognize that the deceptive intelligence is not lurking out there. Oh no, it is in you. If you are afraid of them, leery of this, doubtful of that, thinking of yourself as unworthy, undeserving, out there on your own, the deceptive intelligence will move into your heart and mind. It will set up housekeeping and have a banquet on your dreams. There's only one way to save yourself from the influence of the deceptive intelligence. That is to know the truth. The truth is, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I'll repeat that. The truth is, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. The deceptive intelligence may be in you, but you must know that neither inner nor outer enemies will prosper or take over unless you let them. Until today, you may have been employed by the deceptive intelligence to frighten yourself, confuse yourself, or take yourself off course. Just for today, refuse to be used by the inner voices that will lead you to believe something other than the truth. Today, I'm devoted to remembering that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Oh, I just love this lady. I have all of her books. And I wanted to let you know also that you can get apps for the Quran, you can get apps for the Bible, all the religious, just everything you can get an app for. And I sometimes just go and read that good book. Sometimes it's good to just turn out all the lights, shut the door, and just meditate on how wonderful God has been to us. How we weren't killed when our mom was changing our diaper at the picnic or in the car. We weren't killed as we walked down the street. We weren't killed as we sat on our porch. None of us will know how we're going to die, but the truth of the matter is, we live today. We don't know if we're going to see the next minute. We don't know if we're going to go through tonight. But every one of us will die. And ask yourself this today. Will it all matter in 100 years? Be the best that you can be. Don't ever do anything or say anything to people that you think is making them hurt, and really it's only hurting yourself. A lot of people wonder, and I'm not trying to say you get cancer and heart trouble for just being a troublemaker. But I've noticed the happiest people sometimes are the healthiest people. the person with the smile on their face, the person who never complains about anything, even though they have so many things they could complain about. Those people live to be way up in the hundreds. I've sat and talked with some of them, and I asked them, I said, could you tell me your secret? And I don't mean I'm asking them now at 70. I've been asking them since I was a little girl. And most of them said, do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. Hands are for helping, not hurting. The two things that get people in their trouble is what's in their mouth, that tongue, and what's between their legs, those private parts. That's what some of the seniors told me. And you know what? I made sure those things didn't get me in trouble. One senior told me, you better think with your top head and not the bottom one. And she was right. A lot of the men who were after me, after a while, said, you know what? I was just testing you. You're a good woman. And that made me feel really good. I've been on the beach when I was young, and all the women would have, they weren't wearing string bikinis when I was in my 20s or 30s, but they'd have on a bikini. It wasn't the string type. And one time I was on the beach, and a man walked over to me, because whenever I went in the water, when I came out, I had one of those long gowns, beach cover-ups. And he came up, he says, Miss, may I say something to you? And I said, sure. He said, you know something? The women on this beach don't leave nothing for the imagination. He said, but your swimming suit and your outfit is so beautiful. And you leave a lot for the imagination. He said, I love that. I said, well, thank you. Well, I always was a modest person anyway. My husband used to tease me. He says, oh, I can tell you were raised by old people because you want to put on your clothes as soon as you wake up. I slept in the nightgown. But it's just people in my house put on their clothes. They didn't walk around half-dressed or undressed. I never, ever can say I ever saw my mother. She didn't have on her house dress and her apron in front. I never saw my father if he wasn't fully dressed or he had his pajamas on when he was getting ready to go to bed. So just try to be kind. Realize when people have been in this world 7 decades or more, they can pick up sarcasm. And we used to say signification is worth more than stealing. We know how to play the dozens if we want to do it. What you should do, if you've met somebody and you don't like them, just leave them alone. Just go your way. Just go your way. And you'll be a happy person. I told you, I have a wonderful time on YouTube. I love everybody on YouTube. I love those who don't even love me. Because you know what? It takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown. And the truth of the matter is, when you're constantly complaining, nobody cares. Nobody cares. They just go, oh God, here he comes again with his complaining behind. Even on YouTube, you go to different channels, and I subscribe to a lot of channels because I like to see different people and what they got to say. And then what I do is after I get tired of those people, I ain't talking about my basic people, and you know who you are. You'll be with me for life. I just set up and delete them all out. And I go and meet 140 some different people. And out the 140 some people you may subscribe to, or 200, you meet some beautiful people. And the ones that's not beautiful, well, they're outnumbered like 50 to 1. So all I've got to say is use YouTube for lifting up. Use YouTube to come on with positive things. Use YouTube to report what's happening in your area. I just heard about this guy in New York that the police have killed. He was 16 years old. They said he had a gun. People, we have to march and hit the streets when a 6-month-old baby is killed. we have to do something about it. I listened to another guy's video today, and he was suggesting that give you 72 hours to get out of Chicago, then announce 48 hours, then 24 hours. And then he said level the place, just bomb it. And the ones who want to stay, they just go down. Now, this is not Grandma saying this. This is what he's saying. Grandma has other things. Grandma goes more for the Singaporean justice system. I just can't see Singapore wringing its neck while its citizens is killing babies and everything like that. If anything, they're going to wring your neck at the end of that rope. You're not going to sit up in prison and lift weights and rape people and throw your fecal matter at the guards. No, you're going to sit there until Friday morning at 5 o'clock in the morning when they come and get you and they hang you for murder and drugs. Young boys 16 to 55, if you act any way other than your natural self, you are caned. Now go look up Singapore laws. If you don't know what caning is, go look at caning. Remember your grandmother said, I'm going to split your blank wide open? Well, that's what they do. That's what they do. And I'm not trying to say it's perfect, but they don't have the crime in Singapore that we have in Chicago. And I will be visiting Singapore this year while I'm on my way to Bali to meet my daughter up there, and while I'm on my way to Thailand. You know, I don't travel really every year, but sometimes it's good to just get out and travel and go somewhere and live in another culture. And it makes you realize, these people are so happy. They don't hardly have anything, but they're happy. They're not complaining. In fact, in the Asians country, when you're a complainer, they really just ignore you and give you a wide space. They don't want to hear it. Even if things, I remember I was looking on TV, and you can see this yourself. They had a flood in Thailand last year. And these people were just up to their waists in flood water. The sewer had backed up, so they're standing up there in fecal matter, waiting for the truck to come and hand them a box of food, which they would have to stand up in this and eat it. You can see it. Just go look up Thailand floods. I didn't see a frown on anyone's face. They were still smiling. They don't make nearly the money that we make here. They were still smiling. Okay, the water's all gone and everything, and they're back. I saw one lady cried because her business was cooking on the street, and her business was wiped out. She was crying softly. And I think Americans are spoiled. That's why we don't respect life. That's why we don't respect each other. I'm so glad that I was raised by a mother and a father, because both are important in our lives. And I'm so glad that I was taught manners and respect. I'm so glad I was taught don't do tit for tat. You don't know what tit for tat means? It means